Anybody that would like to follow from there. Also, a full recording will be available on our YouTube channel. And we're live. So I think we're ready to start. Allow me to reintroduce myself. I'm Panos. I'm one of the co-founders and the CEO of LearnWorlds. I'm super happy to host today an amazing team with us. We have George, my co-founder and chief product officer of LearnWorlds. We have Panagiotis Christodoulou, who's an e-learning researcher, PhD candidate, and an instructional design expert. And we have Elisa, who's our resident learning designer and chief educator here at LearnWorlds. We're super happy to be hosting this webinar. Today, we will be talking about AI levels of expertise for instructional designers. We're here to explore what is possible with AI design, and we'll present a framework that hopefully will make the job of you and your team, will elevate the level of your job and allow you.
I think something happened with.
Seems like we lost Panos. Perhaps we can wait for a second. Maybe
Yes.
he had
Yes, I'll share my presentation. So let's give him a moment, please. Sorry for that.
In the meantime, feel free to grab a snack, grab your drink, your coffee before we officially start.
This was definitely an oops.
Yeah. Panos,
Yes.
Panos, I see people are looking for him in the chat. No, definitely not playing hide and seek. I'm guessing perhaps something with his connection or a misclick. So let's just wait for him. They've got Panos. I'm sure he's pretty safe in the office. Just reading through you guys' chat texts.
I'm sharing a surname with some of our attendees. That's weird.
I think we should start. I will share my presentation until Panos will join us.
Yes, it's being recorded. I see people are asking. We'll share the recording later.
So can you see my screen now?
Yes,
Perfect.
George.
So as Panos said, we are here to talk about this framework, the 5 layers of AI expertise for instructional design. So we all understand the need of taking into account AI in our everyday work. AI has changed a lot of things in the way that instructional designs work. I think there are several conversations out there about what is happening right now, what we should know, how we should learn about AI, how we should incorporate AI in our daily routine. However, there is no framework there. You cannot benchmark yourselves in terms of how proficient you are in using AI, and this is what we are going to do today. We are going to present you a framework so as for you to understand where you are, which are the gaps that you probably have, and how to fill in these gaps. Of course, at the end, we will show you how also AI can be incorporated inside LearnWorlds, our platform, so as to help you see tools that are using already AI can accelerate your work. So LearnWorlds is an online platform that enables people to create and sell and market online courses. We have more than 10,000 customers in more than 150 countries with tens of millions of learners. We are proud of that. I've worded several times about our services. So we are definitely focused and passionate about providing the best experience for designers to build courses and sell courses or promote internal training or external training. Panos is back, I think.
Yep, not sure what happened. Zoom, I think, didn't like what I was saying. Hope you can hear me.
Panos, I think we can go on with the poll. You can take over.
Yep.
Panos, people were worried. They missed you.
I don't know. I missed me as well. It happened to me. So sorry, folks, for the scare. Let's start with a very quick poll question, just to understand where we are now as a team here, as a group, whether we're already familiar with AI applications in our day-to-day jobs. So let me start resharing, I guess, my screen. Yep, let's have those questions, those answers coming in. I think we are at about 76%. Something that we always like to remind here, because there's always this huge discussion around AI and whether AI will replace us or how soon, for that matter. Something that we see as we are also using AI in our day-to-day work, and we are talking with hundreds, if not thousands, of professionals and instructional designers from all around the world. What we say is that AI will not replace you and what you do, but an instructional designer using AI might as well do it. The levels of efficiency, effectiveness, productivity, speed that you get by using a tool like that are already unprecedented. And here we're talking about ChatGPT 4, and more things are right around the corner for all of us. So these are tools that we have to add to our arsenal. We have to learn using, and these are the tools that can elevate and skyrocket our productivity, our efficiency, and the quality of our work in the things that you do. So this is what we will show here. We are not showing how somebody can replace an instructional designer. We are showing how you can become a 10x or 100x instructional designer using these tools and using this framework. So AI is here, can be here to support you, and we are here to support you take the most out of what AI can bring today and in the future.
So this framework is consisted of 5 layers. The layers are organized based on simplicity and complexity. So we are starting from the simpler one, and we are going to the more complex ones. So we are starting with layer 1. As an instructional designer, you need to understand the domain. So we will see how AI can help you there. And you have to evaluate how much of the things that we are showing you, you are already using. In the second layer, we are going to present the different educational artifacts that you can create with AI. And again, you have to benchmark how many of them you are using right now. In the third layer, we are going to talk about being efficient in using AI. How fast can I get the best result so as to become faster and more efficient in my work? In the fourth layer, we are going to go to the theory. We are going to go to the, let's say, the more scientific way of thinking when you're building a learning experience. And you will see that AI can also help you in that front. Even if you don't know about all these theories and so on, you can exploit them by using AI. So this is quite powerful. And in the last layer, we will show you the tools that you can use, that are out there that can help you use AI without even knowing about prompting. So our guidance for you is to listen all of this stuff. It's both a framework of thinking, but we are going to present you tens of examples of prompts that will be probably useful to you. And at the end, let's go back and see how this framework will help you understand which are the gaps and how you can fill that gaps. So I think we can start by presenting layer 1. I'm not sure if you want to present the results of the poll, Pano.
Yes, let's show the results because they're very interesting. So hopefully you are seeing them now. So we have just 1% who consider themselves to be experts in AI for instructional design. The majority of the people have explored or experimented with AI tools, which is great, which means that we already have some familiarity, and hopefully we can build on that. Then the next biggest group is familiar but haven't used it in practice. That's 26%. Let's see how we can change that and give you a head start in everything that you do. We have 17% of people who are not familiar at all. I think you are in the right place, and we will also share some resources right after the presentation that can help you hit the ground running. And also 15% who regularly use AI in instructional design projects, We will be extremely interested to hear also your feedback about the content of this presentation and how we can keep evolving this framework and how we can do a much better job with your collaboration as well. So,
sorry, Pano, just to say that we have a book that we have created and we have released it today. So you're going to be the first one that they are going to get this ebook, which explains everything here. But I think it's better to follow the presentation, and then the book will be a lot easier to read and explore.
Okay, so starting with the framework, layer 1 is all about understanding the domain. So before you start your designs, you need some basic understanding of your domains. So the first thing we can say of how you can use AI is as a domain expert. And let's see what exactly this means. Of course, nothing new here. You can ask AI a lot of various types of questions, retrieval type questions, clarification, even probing questions. That's all for you to understand the domain. We offer you just a slight framework for your convenience, and that's the common thread that combines all of these type of questions is that they more or less start with a W8 question. So we have, Panos, if you may move to the next slide, we can see here that all type of questions you can ask AI for domain understanding is pretty much open-ended and starts with a W8 question. So clear, easy, something that you might already use. Next, moving on, we can see that AI can be used as a problem solver in a specific domain. So of course, you're architects, you're designing experiences, you're not experts in a domain. So you need maybe some help in designing domain-specific exercises and examples. Like here, you can see that we have an example about a course targeting developers at the beginning level, but you need to provide some examples, some specific exercises, and AI has a particular understanding in specific domains. And you can see here at the generated output an example of an exercise that you could include in your design. Then, of course, we have examples about which could target data analysts and many more use cases where AI can be used as a domain problem solver. For instance, you can use also AI as a complex domain solver to explain difficult concepts for your users, to break down the concepts, and so on. But of course, this is more or less nothing new here.
You're on mute, George. We can't hear you.
Sorry, may I say something, add something here? So in the first layer, what we are saying is, what you're already doing. You can ask ChatGPT about the domain. Are you teaching about, for example, time management for SEOs, CEOs? Then you can ask what is time management, how can I create an outline, how different managers are using their time, how they are organizing themselves, and ChatGPT will provide you answers from there. So while you needed in the past a domain expert, now you can start familiarizing with the domain with ChatGPT. That doesn't mean that ChatGPT will provide you all the answers, but that does mean that you have a help that you didn't have in the past. And as Panagiotis said, it's not so simple. It's not only about asking things. ChatGPT can do it more complicated things like models. In the example that Panos right now shows, you imagine that you are probably you are doing instructional design about data analysis, and you want some help from ChatGPT about how to model a problem. As you can see here, we are feeding ChatGPT with an Excel file that is containing students' data. We are asking ChatGPT to clean the data by removing duplicates, fixing formatting issues, and handling missing values. We are saying determine the success rate based on scores above 85%. And also we are saying identify the frequency of learning engagement. So you can see that you're creating a case study about the domain of data analysis, and you also have some results. So while it is easy, we have to think that this domain expertise can be explored. We have to think about that. Of course, we have to be careful because not always everything is right. It's exactly right, probably, most time. So the first level is something simple. We should go with the second layer, which is, let's say, the most common for instructional designers. Elisa?
Right. So yes. So the second layer is producing the learning activities. And Panos, if you can go over to the next, even after this. So the first one, and I'm sure as instructional designers, our goal is to create as creative activities as we can, just to keep the learners engaged and essentially just interested into the course. So one way to create activities is via flashcards. And that actually kind of like brings me back to when you play board games. So just create a fun activity for learners. With the help of that flashcards right here, you could, for instance, have a topic right here, for instance, into the prompt, we ask from the AI tool to create a flashcard with dog breeds. So for instance, in one side, you could have the breed of the dog, and the other side could include the characteristics, right? And in that sense, perhaps the user would have to identify the breed based off of the characteristics. And this is exactly what we see here, a nice game, a nice activity of flashcards. The next one is a timeline. So a lot of times it's a lot easier, especially for historic events, to just see them all lined up as a lineup, right? So it's much easier for us to understand the progress of things and just keep it in mind and memorize it. So here, for instance, we asked the AI tool to give us a timeline of the history of AI, and you see it starts all the way from 1949 and it comes up all the way to 2024, but you're not seeing it over here. So extremely helpful for laying out historic events for specific niche or specific topic you have in mind. The next one is one of my favorites, fill in the blank. And again, I'm sure as instructors, as creators, you are a lot of times asked to create such activities. And not only do they take time to sit down and write them, but also you need to have some imagination when it comes to, the examples you're going to use, the possible words for them to fill in. So really, this is a major time saver. So right here, we're asking for ChatGPT to create 8 different scenarios and of filling the blank. And we also provide a list of words that the users can use, right? So for instance, one of the examples here is, after working hard all week, I'm going to and relax this weekend. And you see that there is actual words for them to use in the parentheses, and they'd have to use the right one. So imagine just how much time this would take for you to create instead of just having the AI assistant do it for you.
Especially if you consider the fact that you are giving a book, a PDF, again, an attachment there, based on which everything is going to be computed. So every instructional designer probably will be delivered with some content, some material. So if you want to build something like filling the blank, then you can feed it into ChatGPT and say, guys, ChatGPT, I want this, and this. I think what we are presenting right now is the different educational artifacts that you can create with AI. And this is something that you have to know. It's a lexicon. There are so many things that you can do that usually instructional designers do not know about them. So let's go to the next one.
Mm-hmm. Next up, we have the glossary. So many times, according to the niche and the field, we have specific language and terms that we use. So obviously, we want to add this into our content, either towards the end or the beginning. So here, for instance, we are generating a glossary specifically for product management. And the system will produce all of that, all of those terms involved into that topic for users to go ahead and check out what they mean. Into the next one, we have slides. So not only can you create fill in the gaps, flashcards, you can also use the AI tool to help you create and put together presentations. For instance, for live events such as this one. And as an instructor, there are a lot of times where you need to do that, either slides or live events. So that could do exactly that for you. So for instance, right here, we're asking it to presume a role as a digital marketing expert, create 10 slides. And this is exactly what it does. So you give the topic for slide 1, and it gives you main speaking points, main bullet points to elaborate on. The next one, this is something that definitely hits home. We here at LearnWorlds, we create videos all the time regarding, it could be for social media posts, for marketing campaigns, for educational. So regardless of what video you're creating, the first thing you want to have ready is a script, just kind of like a layout of what you're trying to do within the video. So the AI tool is excellent in helping you with that. And you can even be very specific on what you want. So you can see right here that we're telling the tool that we want to limit the video to 5 minutes. Use a motivational tone of voice, include jokes, right? And you'll see the details over here. It will guide you through the scenes, and it tells you exactly what to say in the narration. And also it provides script for the visual. So not only what you say, but also what you show, what you want to show into the video. So for instance, right here in the first part, sorry if you can go, yeah, right here in the introduction, you'll see that you should show a cheerful host in a bright, welcoming office environment. So this is perfect, especially if this is your first time doing videos. Extremely helpful. Next up, and kind of like similar to the video script, we have audio script. And this is great for podcasts, especially now we see the rise of podcasts. Everybody's doing them. And again, in the same sense, it can also provide and give a script for the podcast. Again, you can be specific about what you want, a 15-minute one, a specific tone of voice, include jokes, and it will generate exactly that. Your introduction, understanding of the basics for whatever you're talking, and the talking points and exactly what you want to say. I think next on we move with storyboard. I think, George, this is on you.
Yes, we all know the value of storyboards in instructional design. We all know how difficult it is to create storyboards and how time-consuming they are. Right now, we are showing you a prompt. That's, again, the lexicon of things that you can build with ChatGPT, where in this prompt, we are asking ChatGPT to act as a storyboard generator, create, and we are giving details exactly for the storyboard that we want. So we are saying each frame we want to depict a step in the safe handling of sharps. Why? Why not? Then we are saying, please reflect the various hospital areas such as these. Please design the characters representing different hospital staff and output the storyboard including the narration for 6 frames and the associated visuals. So if we go in the next slide, what we are going to get, it's exactly a storyboard with images and with what the frames should include. So don't forget that this is just the starting. You are starting a dialogue with ChatGPT. You can still work on that and say, okay, I want the frame 2 to be like that, or I want the frame 3 to be like that, or I want another 6 frames, but these should be focused on something else. So again, a nice thing to have in mind, storyboards can be created with ChatGPT. And let's go to the next one, which is stories. We all know how much storytelling is important in learning, how a hype right now exists about stories in learning. So can we ask ChatGPT to create a story? Yes, we can. So we can ask ChatGPT, for example, to create a story for illustrating the importance of teamwork in project management. We can guide with some details how we want that to evolve, and then ChatGPT will create a story for us so as to use that as a learning material in our courses. Let's go to the next one. It's interesting here. This is a very interesting, it's close to what Panagiotis showed before. We are talking about creating self-assessment checklists. See, please, carefully the prompt and see that we are feeding again the ChatGPT with the feedback of the students of a course, of a yoga course. And we are asking ChatGPT to create a self-assessment checklist based on the feedback of the students. So what's the best way of building something like that? By analyzing what the students said about our course. So a very powerful mechanism. Again, we are asking you to think that self-assessment checklist is inside the lexicon of things that you can build with ChatGPT. And let's go to the next one. Images. With ChatGPT 4, we can now create images. And here we have an example. We are asking ChatGPT to create images for an opening slide of a training presentation. How do you relate with this problem? I think everyone relates a lot. So The prompt is big, the image is here, we can add it, we can alter it, and we can create a fantastic and awesome presentation so as to have our viewers happy. So we have more of these learning activities in the book. We think that this is a benchmark. You have to know all of this stuff, and you have to use all of this stuff when you're creating learning materials. So another thing that we are doing several times is about playing with the content. You already have the content. You are instructional designers. People are going to give you some content. You may have some content. So a big thing there is, how can I simplify my content? How can I polish my content? How I can expand it? How can I make it shorter? So ChatGPT in this layer, in the layer 2.2, enables you to have some mass actions on top of your content. You would need probably days to do things like that. But right now you can say, this is my ebook, can you give me a presentation? So we have two things here that you have to consider whether you are doing or not. The first thing is, let's say, content optimization, simple things like simplify, expand, enrich. And the second is about content transformation. We are talking about summarizing. We are talking about extracting key takeaways. We are talking about pros and cons listing from a text, existing text. So try to think whether you are already using ChatGPT for getting value from this kind of instructional behaviors that you probably are demonstrating every day. And I think we can go on with the third layer.
So in the first layer, we saw how we can use ChatGPT as a domain expert to replace the domain expert, or at least to have one next to us 24/7 to get support for preparing all our content. And in the second layer, we saw how we can produce learning activities or rewrite, re-edit, repurpose learning activities. And as you can imagine there, the possibilities for expanding or reusing and repurposing content from audio to video, from video to audio, from text to image, from one language to the other are immense. And your productivity level can skyrocket. You can branch out into so many different things and create so much content for different audiences based on the specific request at the time. So what we're talking now at the third layer is how to be efficient. How to be efficient and productive. And we'll talk a bit about prompt engineering. Today's webinar is not about prompt engineering, but we do have you covered also here as well. We will share with you the ebook that we have created about prompt engineering. And here there's a big analysis in here and many examples that you can just copy paste directly. So what we want to explore at that layer, at this layer here, is what is possible for you as an instructional designer, what is now possible and with the use of ChatGPT and some smart prompt engineering. And like we mentioned before, that with if we upload our content, we already start from somewhere, and there is already something that ChatGPT can work with. It's the same with prompt engineering. Yes, with some dialogues, and if you were asking ChatGPT to refine your questions and your requests a few times or a few dozen times, you would get perhaps the same result. But if you already start with a well-engineered prompt that already sets the tone of voice, the context, your role, your audience, who you are talking to, or who you like ChatGPT to pretend to be and adapt, you can get the output that you desire much faster. So this is how you become the 10x instructional designer. So here is a very simple example that I think really illustrates what is the difference between a simple request, a simple prompt where you ask ChatGPT to create something, and it will create something. And this is probably where the newbies stop, or the people who have just played around stop. And they got some results, and in some cases they haven't been impressed by the results, because yes, you can spend 5 or 10 more minutes and create a better slide than the one you see at the top of this slide. But what if you start at the benchmark of this prompt, this engineer prompt that includes much more context and very specific requests about who you are, what you want to get, what is the size of what you want to get, who is the audience, what you want to highlight or anything else, then you get a slide like the one you see at the bottom right. So you already start at the pro level, and from there on, obviously, with some refinement, by adding your own context, by uploading your own specific instructions, you can get ChatGPT to become even more specific and create even better outputs for you. So this is the kinds of results you will see in and examples that you will see in the ebook that we will share. That's the second book that you will get from us. One is the ebook with the framework, and the second is the ebook with some very specific prompts that can help you with your engineering, and I can help you. This is you listened to, you heard me mention that before. There's the concept of the 10x programmer in software development. I think here we can all become by using these tools, the 10x instructional designers, the people who will replace the instructional designers who don't use these tools that we are mentioning here. So I think it's time, before we go to the next layer, let's also see, let's get some more feedback from you about integrating AI in your instructional design. I guess the people who have already played around with that, so we might have some fewer answers. What is your main priority from AI? Let's see how we can better support you with what you're trying to do. And we can continue as we're gathering the responses. We can continue with you, Panagiotis.
Okay, thank you, Panos. So we know that, of course, the industry and all the managers are asking you to design exceptional instructional plans. So now we will break down a few aspects of how you can leverage AI for your designs. First of all, of course, when you are planning a trip and you have some travelers along with you, you want to accommodate the plans to their preferences. So the first stop is when you are designing, it's to understand your learners. And yeah, so in the first layer, we have in the fourth layer, and the first aspect is understanding your learners. You can see here that you can ask various types of questions, such as understanding their characteristics, their profile, background and experiences, their learning preferences, their motives, their prior knowledge, their misconceptions. And of course, note that you are dealing with people who are professionals, and in many cases, you cannot find particular information for them in books or other type of sources or reports maybe. So here, ChatGPT can provide you with at least some starting information which will customize your designs later on. Let's see some examples. In the first case here, we use AI for profile exploration. So you see that we have asked ChatGPT to create 4 personas for software developers on a course focusing on user-centric design. And you can see at the output, of course, we asked ChatGPT to provide specific information like the age, their background, the pain points, some motive, and of course, some additional interview questions that we can use in order to better understand each one of these personas. You can see here that we have exactly these aspects formatted in a table for a better view and more clear view. Then we have another example about understanding our learners' background and experiences. So this is quite an interesting example. What if you had to design a course about time management and you were targeting at CEOs? So it's a very interesting group with specific experiences and background. And you can ask AI for information on these aspects. And you can see here that AI generates particular experiences, such as their difficulties in reflecting an adjustment, or even more particular examples regarding these set of experiences. And then we also have another important aspect when designing, and we have to understand our learners. We have to understand where they're starting from, what troubles them, what they might have previous misconceptions or misunderstandings on a topic. So in this example here, we have asked ChatGPT to provide us some misconceptions of high school students about the concept of astronomy. And we asked particularly for the AI to state the misconception, acknowledge the idea that the misconception is wrong, and generate later on some texts that we can use to refute these misconceptions as an instructional material. So not only we have the misconceptions here, but we also get an additional educational artifact produced, quite useful. And moving on, or maybe first panels, we can see the results from the poll.
Yes, and they are interesting. Here, this is a multiple response question, so the percentages obviously are much higher than 100%. We have 50% of the people that use AI to generate domain-specific exercises or examples, and that's obviously very interesting. You've seen before Elisa showing 8 different fill-in-the-blank questions. You can imagine here that what are the possibilities for creating multiple versions and playing around and choosing the best. Quantity has a quality of its own. So just by getting different ways and different types of questions and so many different numbers, it can be extremely helpful and productive for you. Then we have about 42% using AI to generate educational artifacts. That's something that we covered in our second layer. Edit content, obviously also super useful to edit, re-edit, repurpose, and then 34% using AI to understand the specific domain or the content. So and about 90% don't integrating AI in instructional design. Hopefully, we will change that number today.
So may I say something? I think, Panagiotis, what you presented is the very first thing that everyone learns when he starts working, he starts working with instructional design. The first thing that you have to do is learn about your learners. And it is almost mind-blowing the fact that you can ask ChatGPT, for example, what are the habits of CEOs, or which are the misconceptions of these groups, and you are going to get some answers there. So the first part of this fourth layer is we are, of course, in the instructional, the pure instructional design now expertise. You have to understand your learners, and you're getting some help so as to accelerate the way that you work. And I think in the second, the 4.2, you are going to talk about, because the first thing is to understand the learners. The second thing is to talk with the people that are the subject matter experts and learn about how they think, what we should teach, how we should present.
Okay, so more or less for instructional designers, having an interview with a SME, the subject matter expert, might be something that is a challenging task. But of course, you can use AI to prepare yourselves accordingly. So you can use AI to draft a set of brainstorming questions in advance, so that you have already prepared something to start with when meeting your subject matter expert. Or you can, of course, another challenge might be to ask your subject matter expert to simplify concepts in the domain that you are discussing. So this might be also be tricky, because they know, they have seen, maybe they have also instructed specific groups, and they know how to break down some concepts, how to simplify them, and these might be quite helpful for you. And of course, you also want to make your designs relative and applicable. So asking from subject matter expert some examples and some case studies is also beneficial. And we can see, of course, in our book, you can see examples for all of these 3 cases. But right now, just we will show an example about brainstorming questions. And as instructional designers, you're preparing, you're asking ChatGPT for a set of questions. You might also input in ChatGPT the phases of the interview. Maybe you want a different set of questions for instruction or for course objectives, for practical applications. So you can instruct directly ChatGPT to provide you questions for each one of these parts of the interview. Or of course, you might want something more generic. Well, I don't think that might be the case, but in any case, you can formulate the prompt according to your needs and get the questions. You can see here just a short example in the output, the background information that you might ask the subject matter expert, some information about the background, some input about the course objectives and the outcomes they might expect from your design. So it's quite useful to start with this, prepare yourselves, and be one step ahead when meeting your subject matter expert. Yep, moving on with the most crucial part of your design, of course, it's to infuse some theory when designing. In most cases, this is also a requirement from your managers. You have a lot of theory to choose from. ChatGPT is aware of many instructional design models, instructional design principles. So you can see here a list of just the most influencing. And we will see next some examples, starting with the ADDIE model. So what is specifically interesting here is that since AI is quite aware of the theory, we know that the ADDIE model has 5 distinct phases. We know we have analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation. And we ask ChatGPT to create an outline, a plan of action with specific outcomes following this learning model. And you can see in the output that ChatGPT generated that it has break down each step of the ADDIE model. So you see what you have to do in the analysis phase, in the design, in the development, in the implementation and evaluation phase. It's clear, it's there for you to use directly in your plans.
I think we can call it the popularization of the theory. So even if you do not understand well ADDIE model or the Bloom model or whatever, you can have an idea. And please take care, please understand what we are saying. We are not saying that right now the issue is that you can just have ADDIE inside your instructional design. You can have 5 models in 5 minutes, showcase, see in front of you 5 different plans for your instructional design and start combining. So you are using theory, you are using domain expertise, you're building different instructional plans, and you are in a position to select in front of an opened design space. That's a huge difference from how we were designing in the past. Let's go on with first with the other models, Panagiotis.
Yes. What about setting your learning objectives? You can use, for example, here, Bloom's taxonomy. We have 6 levels for classifying the learning objectives. We have asked from ChatGPT to create 10 learning objectives following this approach. And we can see in the output generated, of course, here again, that for each type of learning objective, we have for remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, and so on, one specific learning objective output from ChatGPT. Then we have also other approaches we can use, like the SMART goals, which is setting specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals. And here we have the case of professional development course for employees. And we can see again that for each objective, it highlights whether it is specific, achievable, and where exactly it falls under. And of course, an instructional design model that most of you might be aware and seems to gain a lot of power lately is action mapping by Kathy Moore. It has 6 specific main steps: identifying the business goals, defining actions and behaviors, create meaningful activities, provide necessary information, focus on application, and measure impact. Once again, we can see here that if we ask ChatGPT to produce an outline based on this approach, we can get the results split by each step of the action mapping approach, starting for the identified business goals, then determining what employees need to do. Specific actions are provided here. Even it provides the activities you can use in your design. So this is quite powerful as well. And moving on, we have also another example about Gagné's 9 events of instruction, another influencing approach for you to follow or inspire. And once again, we have 9 events here, starting from gaining attention. And you can see informing learners of objectives. You can see that we can match the 9 events of the theory generated in the output directly, gain attention, inform learners of objectives. This is quite clear once again.
So I think what Panayota just showed us is the fact that, you know, I can have, for example, to design something for time management, I can ask ChatGPT to create 7 different approaches there, and I can build on top of that. So this is a shift in instructional design. So a good question you have to ask yourself, when you're designing material, how many times have you asked ChatGPT to use multiple theories so as to inform your designs? How open you are in the alternatives that we have. And as I'm saying that, we are going to the level that we love most, which is how ChatGPT can help you think out of the box about instructional design. We are talking about creative thinking. And if we go to the next slide, we will see that we are going to present 4 different approaches. Let's start immediately, Panos, with the prompts. So let's start talking about creative thinking strategies. You know, you have to remember that ChatGPT is all about connections. Every word that is being presented is just connected to the previous one. So the immense power of this model is the fact that it can connect everything. So it depends on you how you are going to ask what to be connected. So probably you all know, since you are instructional designers, that the creativity is about connecting things that are not, you know, you are not familiar with. So exactly this is what ChatGPT can do in a great way. Let's see analogies, for example. We are asking this prompt, ChatGPT to act as a learning facilitator, designing a course on marketing and business strategies for knowledge levels. However, we are asking also to use an analogy from cooking. So at the end, I have a module which tries to explain course and marketing business strategies through cooking dictionary. You can see the results here. So this is exactly these connections. This is why you can use ChatGPT to think out of the box. Let's go to the next example. Let's talk about a role or person imitation. So here we are asking ChatGPT to explain market segmentation in the style of a cowboy from old westerns. How the hell someone thought about that? And what's the result here? Read the result in the right window, and you will understand that, you know, learning is about the unexpected. Learners are so bored about learning. So they want this unexpected approach. They want this unexpected storytelling. And we are now showing you strategies of how you can create unexpected learning experience. And this is again a question for you. How much do you use ChatGPT so as to create the unexpected learning experience that will increase the engagement? Let's go to the next technique, lateral thinking. This is a theory. Just use it like that. Use lateral thinking to talk about reinforcement. If you read the result you will be amazed. You will say, and we are usually using this prompt, and we are getting results we couldn't imagine. That means that I have to use it as it is? No, but it is a fire in my mind on how I can approach the material and how I can teach the specific domain. For example, here reinforcements. Let's go to the next one. The bonus theory, probably most of you know about the bonus creative thinking theory. So you can explicitly ask ChatGPT to create flashcards by using the bonus 6 thinking hat strategy. As you will see on the right, you are getting results based on the creative thinking theory of the bonus. So you can build, again, unexpected flashcards for the users. I think we shouldn't spend more time. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to the Socratic dialogue. I think everyone will, the next one, Pano. So another thing, how we can introduce someone to a topic. We could even ask ChatGPT to create a Socratic dialogue. We are asking here, act like as Socrates or create a Socratic dialogue and present the value of experiential learning for corporate training. And as you will see, the result is a dialogue between Socrates and an educator. The Socratic approach says that in order for someone to understand, I have to ask him questions, so as for him to build understanding by himself. So this is exactly what ChatGPT is doing in the results of this prompt. Let's go to the next one. Always learning comes through conflicts. So sometimes, since we are always seeking to find the unexpected, it's not the best way the best way to present something and say this is what it should be, this is how we think that you should think. Sometimes you have to challenge your understanding, the things that you've said before, and you want to present a totally contradictory approach and a perception. So with prompts like that, you can create conflicts to the learners. And this is the best way to help them understand. Again, from a very creative way of thinking. Let's go to the next one. Right now, the next ones are some small things, but these are small, nice bites that you can put inside your learning material, like poems. Create a poem for graphic designing. Let's go to the next one. Create a song for Pilates instructors. Why not? Let's go to the next one. Create a joke, 5 jokes for financial manager. As you can understand, all these small bites are very critical, again, for creating a learning experience that it is memorable, it is remarkable, and it has some effect on the learners. Let's go to the last one, I think. And also you can use, for example, emojis. Again, the same question for you. How much do you use all of that so as to inform your instructional design? And we can go, I think, to the next.
All right, so we're closing in. So we have the last layer, layer 5, where we will see actually implementing some of these theories in all of these ways. And we're going to see some tools. So let's go straight into the next tab, into the next slide. So GPT plugins. So what are these? So these are just plugins. There are add-on tools that you can add, and they can help you. They were developed specifically for ChatGPT. So these plugins essentially add more functionality and more features, and they can help you take advantage of the full capabilities of ChatGPT. So right here, you can see we have an example. We've installed such a plugin, and we've added the prompt. So create an environmental science concept map aimed at junior high students taking an introductory course on environmental science. And this is exactly what it did. You can see the outcome. It's exactly that. We have the environmental science concept map that it created with the help of the plugin that we added. I think we can go straight into the other tab, yes. So right now, I'm going to show you how some of these can apply straight to LearnWorlds, and we'll see some of these in action. So right here, before I show you the videos, first of all, AI can help you in planning the course. planning the outline, and even deciding what activities you're going to add. It can help you with creating ebooks. You could either do them manually or do it with the help of AI. It could help you with the video transcripts. We saw that earlier as well. It can help you while editing other content, such as copy on your pages, or perhaps while you're trying to put together an offer, the copy for that. It can help you put together your email, right? The emails that you're sending out to your users. Of course, my favorite, it can help you with the assessment, so generating all the questions and the assessment that you want. And finally, something very unique is that it can also help you provide feedback. There's a lot of times where you may have open-ended questions and they need your attention. You need to go over there and provide some feedback to these. So quite a few options. I'm going to show you 4 main ones. So Panos, if you can let me share my screen. I'm going to show you the first one, which is...
but it didn't work.
Yeah, it's okay. So I'm going to show you the first one, which is the video planner. Sorry, the course planner. So I'm going to hit play over here so you guys can see.
Elisa,
So again, this is...
Elisa, what we're going to show right now, I think, is incorporate all the previous layers inside the tool. So
Exactly.
several of you may still live without knowing all the previews, but just use the right tools. So this is what tools like LearnWorlds is trying to do. Simplify everything so as for you not to need prompt engineering, and also incorporate the results immediately in a tool. That's, again, a huge accelerator in your work. So let's see how fast you can create a course outline.
Right. So this right here is just a LearnWorlds dashboard, and we're trying to create a course. So I'm going to play this for you. You see, just I'm creating the course. I'm adding some information right here, such as the course's title, links, the access to it. And the final part is how I'm designing the course's layout, the activities. You'll see that you can do it manually, but of course, with the last tool, you can use AI to help you do it via AI. So right after that, it opens up this little menu right here. You need to go through this, and you'll see that you're giving the course's title, and then you get to select the type of activities that you wanted to add. So you'll see that the tool will add these for you, from videos, ebooks, certificates, live sessions, exams. You get to determine the exact number of sections, how many activities each one will include, mention key topics, or perhaps a specific instructional approach. We mentioned some of these. You can decide what type of a course you're creating, a foundational, introductory, add key topics, specify the audience. Sometimes it's important so that the system knows how deep to go into the information. You can specify your tone of voice, and then go and click on generate once you've done all of that. So once you do that, it will generate and come with the outcome. Of course, you can proofread this as with everything in AI. If you don't like something, you have the option to regenerate, to improve it. And if you're pleased with what you got, and you'll see right here, we got exactly that. We got 5 sections with 3 activities each. You can click on insert the content and take a look at this. This is magic. It will insert the content right inside your dashboard. So essentially, all you did was just click your little mouse here and there, and it came up with a complete layout for your course, right? This is crazy. Obviously, it's not one and done. You can go back and you can retouch these and actually go ahead and fill in the activities, but this will create the outline for you based on the criteria that you gave to the AI tool. Yeah, and of course you can go back and you can redo something if you want to. And I think this was the first video, so how to do this for the course creation part. The second one I want to show is how to create the text. I think this is for the ebook. So let me play this for you guys as well. So again, we have an ebook over here. You click to edit it. And of course, you can do it manually or with the help of AI. And I'm going to pause here because this is so important. Look at all of these functions, all of these things that you can create with the ebook. Either write a simple text, create a story. George talked about stories, create a Q&A, a timeline, a journal, a glossary. So all of the things that we mentioned earlier are right here in your fingertips to choose. And if I let this play as I'm scrolling, you'll see there's so many things that you can add. Create a joke, a critique, and so on, right? So many things that you can do. I think we're selecting the story for the example over here. And again, you have this nice little window to specify. So create a story for the significance of instructional design models, for instance. You get to define the scenes and also the characters of your story, and even, you know, add key topics and provide an ending. And there it is. It came up with the result. So this is essentially the story, a story created for the power of learning. We all know that learning through a story it just has such an immediate effect. Learners love stories and learning through stories, right? So this is exactly what it created over here. And you can see it starts once upon a time in a building city, blah, 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 a bustling city. I'm not gonna read all of that. So it created the ebook right away, exactly how we asked, right? I'm just gonna fast forward. So I'm just showing you guys over here exactly what it created, the ending based on what ending we requested. And of course, as with all AI results, you can regenerate, you can improve. And then again, it's going to import this, not only generated, but again, import it straight into your ebook builder. So it's right here in the form of the ebook, of a chapter, whatever you're doing. Of course, this is editable. You can go ahead, you can edit this, you can add more chapters, more sections, and you'll see that at the far top right here, you got even more options, right? Either to add more of the thing that you created, or even to touch up on the ones that you did, just to kind of like polish the text. So many options right here, creating a Socratic dialogue. George mentioned that earlier for the significance of instructional design model. We want a positive one. You get to decide on the aim and the goal of your dialogue. I'm just fast forwarding this, and there you go. So you'll see the characters, a student and a teacher, and here's the dialogue, right? So again, once we read through this and we like this, we insert this. I'm just fast forwarding so you guys can see, and it's going to add this right into the ebook again, right? So right here. Let me see what else I'm showing you over here. I think that's pretty much with the ebook, just a quick sum. And on to the next one, and I think this is my favorite. This actually, yes, so this is the assessment one. So, and I think that you guys are gonna love this too. So let me play this. Hold on one second. All right. Okay, so we're trying to create an assessment activity, and we're creating an exam. So just giving it a name right here, and I'm using the AI tool. You'll see that you have so many options over here on types of questions to add. You can add multiple choice, true or false, drop downs, multiple right answers, or ordering open-ended questions as well. So the list goes on, matching, so many questions, different ones that you can add into one single assessment. So I'm going to go ahead. You'll see that, again, we have the same option right here. We're creating questions for our topic. And then right under, you decide what type of questions you want to add and how many. For instance, I need 2 multiple choice or 3. True or false. You'll see that there's a list right here. You can add more, fill in the blanks. We saw that earlier. You can specify the level, so how difficult, your tone of voice, the level of the assessment, use Bloom's taxonomy. We mentioned that earlier, and I saw some commotion about it in the chat too. Key terms to address, right? So all of these little fields just to specify, it's going to come up exactly with the questions. So for instance, right here, we have a multiple choice one, which instructional design prompt. I'm not going to read through all of it, but you'll see you have all the different answers, and it even gives you the right one, which obviously your learner is not going to see. Besides that, it also gives you some automatic feedback if you wish to include, and this is what I love. So, you know, with automatic questions like this, the system already knows which one the right or the wrong answer is. So it creates also the corresponding feedback for it, right? And I know you probably think about it, obviously this is editable, you can go ahead and change it up, but isn't it great? Not only does it come up with the questions, the possible answers, but also with the feedback, right? So I'm going to keep playing this. So we're going to add this straight into the assessment builder right here. And you'll see we created 5 different types of questions right here, multiple choice ones and true or false, right? I'm going to just fast forward over here. You'll see that based on each question, you know, you can offer the feedback and so on. Now we're just demonstrating how the user is going to see it, which I think we can skip.
In a matter of seconds, you can upload the materials, create some questions about that. These questions are going to be incorporated in the tool immediately, and you just clicking preview and it's working. So
exactly.
Something that you probably need some tens of hours, you can do that, you know, in just 60 seconds.
Yes, again, the important thing is here, not only does it create the outcome, but it also adds it into your course right away. So the last part I wanted to mention is the feedback one. We did see that we can offer feedback for automatic questions, right? The questions that the system already knows the answer. But how about other type of questions? Like if you have open-ended questions, obviously the system cannot determine if that's correct or not, right? Automatically. So let me play this one too. And we have something in LearnWorlds, which is called the Review Center, where any assessment that basically requires your attention, you can view from there and you can grade. It looks something like this. You can see the users, you can see the system's question, and then the answer the user gave. Now, what the tool does is that based off of the user's answer to the specific question, it can generate the feedback. So the feedback is completely based on the user's answer. I'm just going to fast forward over here. So just showing you, you'll find it right here where it says create the feedback. And again, it gives you this option. Here's the question, here's the user's answer. And you can, of course, kind of like determine and morph the feedback itself as well. So it's going to be a specific feedback, or again, include keywords, or define how strict you want to be. Define your tone of voice, right? So I'm just fast forwarding these just so that you can see. And here's the feedback. So it says, great job. Your answer demonstrates a clear understanding of how this selection of instructional design model. So exactly based on the user's answer. So I'm going to fast forward again so we can insert this. Just
We
so
are
that
talking
you can
about
see it.
open assignments. Right? So you remember
Yes.
how difficult it is to assess open assignments. Now you can have a great starting point. Again, accelerating your work.
Exactly. So if you were to read the response from the learner, you'll see that the feedback is completely based on that response. And you see, for instance, right here, it says you accurately highlighted how this decision can impact various aspects. And if you go over here, you'll see that the learner said this exactly. It impacts various aspects. So it's not just a generic feedback. It's completely custom to what the learner responded. And I think that's the main gist here. I can play the whole video. Let me see if there's anything else. Obviously, we're also showing you here that you can reuse the AI to just further polish this text. So there's a few options over here to rewrite it, make it catchy, surprising, shorten, expand, and so on, right? Besides generating it from scratch, you can use the tool to also just further morph the text, essentially. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So you can add a feedback for each question or for the whole assessment in general. Pretty crazy, if you ask me. I don't know if George, you want to share anything over here? I think.
Thanks,
Not all. I think
Elisa.
this was the end of the presentation. This was the presentation of the framework. So five layers of difficult things to do. You have to benchmark yourself, and you have to use this framework so as to see your gaps and see how you can develop yourself and learn everything about that. Pano?
As you said before, here we're talking about democratization of instructional design as well. So most of the things that you've already seen here today, you can do, but you need hours, or in some cases days to do. Here you can get results as a matter of minutes or seconds just with the things that ChatGPT can do. Most of the constructive parts of the framework have been built into the LearnWorlds platform. So creating the learning units, rewriting, redrafting, creating curriculum plans, getting feedback for your students. All these things are already built in. So another learning design, instructional designer, will start using ChatGPT to do something similar. And thousands of people are spending thousands of hours every day to do stuff like that. What can be your productivity level and the quality output of your work by using the things that we offer here? This is what we are about. This is why we have implemented all this within LearnWorlds, but we also understand that it's not just about getting a tool, especially for an instructional designer who wants to be very purposeful about the output of his work and what he or she is doing. Here we are also teaching you about how these things are being created, and to understand the framework and to understand also prompt engineering, so that you also can control the output of this work. I've seen many questions in the chat, people asking, is this available now? What's the name of the tool? Obviously, the name of the tool is LearnWorlds. You can use these things right away. You can just head over to our website, www.learnworlds.com, and you can start a 30-day free trial. No credit card required, no strings attached. Just try it. Go there, and I believe that a seasoned instructional designer can create an amazing course, a full course, as a matter of minutes or hours.
We also have a coupon, I think, for the.
And yes, that was the thing I was coming to. We also want to make it as approachable and as easy as possible for everyone. So there's a coupon just for new LearnWorlds customers, or if you're an existing LearnWorlds customer, if you want to launch your next school and your next project, this is a discount, 20% off for the next 6 months at our Pro Learning Center plans, only available for new schools. Just go there, create your trial today, play around with this, create your next course, create your next assignment, create the feedback that automatically will be sent to the responders of these assignments. I think you will be blown away by the possibilities that are opening ahead of you in terms of productivity, efficiency, and if not for you, then for your team. Because with these tools, with the right framework and with the right tools, you can elevate everyone in your team. And when it comes to efficiency, if you needed a week to tackle a single project or a month, here you can do that at a fraction of the cost and at a fraction of the time. So the efficiency and the productivity gains can be amazing. But also, as you have seen, this thing can help you perform always at 100% and above. This is also what ChatGPT can do. It can unblock us when we are being less creative, when we are being less productive. So we can always be at the top of our game, and we can always have all the theories and all the data right next to us to help us get our work moving and help us perform. So that's a discount for you, AI 20 off. And 2 amazing resources that will be coming your way. We mentioned the previous book that we already have about prompt engineering that can already make you an expert in using detailed prompt engineering to get the results that you want extremely fast and with extreme accuracy. And also our new book that is being launched today by George and Panayota, AI and the Art of Instructional Design, where we elaborate on the 5 layers of AI expertise that you need to drive your efficiency, your productivity, and the quality of your work, and the thoughtfulness of your work, and the leadership of your work to the next level. This is something that you will also get in your email. You will be the first to have the privilege to get access to that. We are really looking forward, and also Panayota and George, about your feedback about how you perceive this material, how you will put it to good use. We will be extremely excited to see some of the output that you will create, hopefully with what we're sharing here. And we're looking forward also for your questions and your to understand more about your needs and how we can further help you as you develop and as you hopefully use the LearnWorlds platform to perform and to create some amazing content for your customers, for your learners, for everybody out there. So we are here to not just democratize e-learning and instructional design, but also to keep you at the top of your game and to make your work and your business bulletproof and future-proof.
Pano, I think we have to ask a couple of questions because they are asking for LearnWorlds. Yes, we do have affiliate program. We do have in the website you can find everything. You will see in the resources all the books that we mentioned, not the new one. The new one is going to be sent only to you this week. I think LearnWorlds is a nice solution to try if you want to talk about AI and how AI can be incorporated in instructional design. We have a fantastic support team if you want to ask questions there. We have a fantastic academy there to learn how to use LearnWorlds. We have a fantastic course masters school where you learn how you can build and sell courses. So tons of resources from us. Stay tuned. We have more webinars like that coming, and we are more than happy to put the best out of us to help you become better instructional designers.
So thank you, everyone. I would like to thank Elisa, Panayota, and George for the presentation and for sharing. We are extremely excited with today's presentation and your involvement. We'll be happy to see you in one of our next webinars and happy to support you. Use LearnWorlds, use our frameworks, and get access to our resources. See you around very, very soon. Thanks, everyone.
Bye,
Have a nice
guys.
day.
Bye, guys.